VP, I have a problem. I really want to trade your system. I want to trade it on the daily chart, but I'm just not around my computer when you tell me to be around my computer. Bro, I got you. Happy Wednesday, traders. Welcome to the Indicator Profile series for this week. We have the MBFX Indicator submitted by Thomas P. from Nigeria. Thank you, Thomas. The user-submitted indicators have done very well. This particular one I really like, though, because if you've noticed lately, we have been doing more unique, unconventional indicators, which I really like. Don't get me wrong. We enjoyed giving you fire indicators in the past that were all kind of conveyor belt style indicators. They were just variations of the same thing. Lately, we've been giving you some indicators with some wrinkles in them, which it takes a little bit more understanding, but I don't know. I just like them. I think they're fascinating. We like showing them to you, and this one was just gifted to us by a subscriber. So awesome. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before we do so, understand, if you're new, you are at the #1 indicator channel in all of YouTube. It will always be that way. But you're not going to know what's going on unless you are caught up to the rest of us. You need to go here, nononsenseforex.com, read the first page, watch that first video, and get caught up. Do not be asking novice questions in the comments section. I will not answer you. But for the rest of us who are caught up, let's go ahead and look at the specs for the MBFX indicator. The year is going to be 2009. The type is going to be confirmation this week, and the subtype is going to be color change. You have seen this before, but there is an asterisk. And that asterisk is going to be what makes this indicator unconventional. So you have to stay with me on this video. I will explain it to you. Now, as far as exit indicators go, I don't really know. I've been very busy this week and just haven't had a chance to really look at it and see if it would meet that criteria, because it's one of those things where I'm not saying no, but I can't really tell you yes either. So as always, you're going to have to find this out for yourself and see if it fits into your system at all. Okay, so without further ado, let us take a look at the MBFX indicator. It looks like this. So you see the color change. Green is going to be long. Magenta is going to be short. Yellow is going to be do nothing, but at least get ready for what might be a change in color. Now, I don't want anybody to get any fresh ideas that as soon as the yellow comes, you can assume that there's going to be a change in color, because you're going to see places where that did happen, but you're also going to see places where it didn't, where it remained the same color. And that's going to wreck you. So you need patience here. How much patience? More than usual. Let me show you what makes this indicator so unique and possibly a bit of a pain in the ass depending on how you trade. So when you see the yellow change to green, that is going to be your long signal. But you need, and here is where this actually benefits people who might need to come in a little bit after the close of the candle before they start trading. You need this green to lock in place. And you're not going to 100% know that until the candle that the signal corresponds to officially closes. So let's say it does. You're actually going to wait for this here before entering the trade, because then you know this green right here is legit and it's not going to stay yellow or turn magenta over time. So you're going to have to wait until this locks in place, and it will not have done that until after the close of the day if you're trading the daily chart. Now, again, don't worry what this color is. It really doesn't mean anything, because if you're trading the daily chart, it still has 22 to 24 hours, depending on when you get there, to play out and decide what color it wants to be. You're just concerned about the actual signal line, and you need to wait for it to lock in place. Now, that being said, There are still two different ways you can approach this depending on when you trade. So if you trade like I do, and like most no-nonsense Forex traders do, and you approach your screen anywhere from 10, 15, 20 minutes before the close of the day, this is how you would do it. You would need to reasonably assume that a yellow isn't coming. So if your signal was green, unless you had a really down day, you can probably reasonably assume that it's going to stay green and go ahead and enter. Because from what we've seen with this indicator, it would take a pretty big reversal day for you not to get another green and legitimize that signal. So you can cheat a little bit here. So you sit down, you see the green, and you also see that today has been either an up day or a fairly break-even day or just a little bit of a down day. You pretty much know that next signal is going to be green too, and just go ahead and get into the trade. If for some reason you're wrong, one, that's not going to happen too often, and two, the rare times it does, you might lose 4 or 5 pips. No big deal, really. Or option number 2, for people who cannot be in front of their screen the same time most of us are, they have to come in a bit later and check things out. This is great for you because you're already going to be at your computer after the close, and you will be able to see, hey, was yesterday's signal an entry or wasn't it? And then you will know with 100% certainty if you should enter this trade or not. Now, if you're coming in, right after the close, of course, you're going to have to wait until the spreads die down. You don't want to do things suboptimally. And if for some weird reason in that hour or so right after the close, the price hasn't just gone bananas one way, rarely happens, but can happen, then go ahead and enter. But there is still one thing you need to do. Check your ATR. I haven't done this in a while, but I'm pretty sure that if you are trading early into the session, early into whatever that candle is. So again, we're just going to assume it's the daily. So let's say you're in the very first 2 hours of the new trading day. Sometimes that small range is going to factor into your ATR and make it lower than it needs to. So you're going to have to find a way to take it out of the overall equation if you want an accurate ATR. And then at that point, enter the trade. Now, I know this is a little more work than you would normally have to do, but again, this is an indicator that is very helpful for people who aren't able to trade at the same time the rest of us do and have to wait until a bit later. So this one little extra step here I don't think is too much to ask. So how did it do? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Before we do, understand that all that matters is how this performs in your system. Do not get too caught up in the numbers I show you. A lot of people were doing that back in the day, and it made absolutely no sense to react in this manner. Test all of these in your system, no matter what you're about to see. If you don't know how to do that, I have so many things down below for you in the description. In part, one of them is a link to my automation blog showing you how to test this yourself. There is an embedded video right there showing you how to test this on the MT4 strategy tester just like we do. And as I always say, the blog has all the things that I don't show you here, a lot more detail, the tweaked settings, which I don't show you here. You're going to probably want to know that, so make sure you go there afterwards. You can also go to Dan's YouTube channel where you're going to get additional information, including watching this thing go in real time to show it doesn't repaint, some extra tidbits that Dan gives you that I don't. If you really want to go deep into this and actually know what you're using, the blog and Dan's YouTube video are essential. Now, if you want to be like Thomas and submit an indicator for use on the Indicator Profile series, we don't take most of them, but we do take some, and the only way to get yours shown is to enter it right here in Dan's second email address. These are the only indicator submissions we pay attention to. And then, as usual, the most popular place in all of the interwebs, the indicator library, where you can download the MBFX indicator and every indicator we have ever profiled here on the Indicator Profile series. Let's go ahead and take a look at the EURUSD. So these are solid results. I'm not sure how you feel about 18 trades throughout the year. With me trading 36 currency pairs, this would be certainly okay for me, because even though the ROI is pretty average compared to what we've shown you on the indicator profile series, this win-loss ratio is not. The win-loss ratio is very nice. If you can just start trading in a time where things are trending a bit more than they have this year, and I think this year's been okay, but if you can increase that and have something that gives you a really nice win-loss ratio, you are off to the races. Now, unfortunately, again, my 4-hour traders, we are still including you, but this is just not going to be your time for the most part. Not much going on in 4-hour land right now. Let's move over to gold. This is good. What you'll see is a lower win-loss ratio, but nicer ROI. And ROI is the main metric we care about here. And even if you're a 4-hour trader, this result is not bad. It's just these are all going to probably pale in comparison to the daily for the next month or so at least, I would say. Moving over to the S&P. From what we've shown in the S&P 500 recently, this is pretty good. Now, if you just go look at a 6-month chart at the S&P 500, for example, it hasn't been great. It's been a very slow ascent, and then a tradable retrace, a tradable move back up, and then boom, right back into a range. Just not fun. Now, that doesn't mean you should just stop trading indices. Indices are awesome to trade, often. But this is also testament to how you should be trading other things as well, because it has not been a great environment for the S&P 500. We're showing you great indicators, and they're still only reaching 6.25%. You don't want to be tied to results like that. Moving over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been much lower, and this is really no exception. Again, I don't know who's going to be mad at 16.5% gain on one indicator before you even start adding the other ones in. But we have shown you Bitcoin in the 30 and 40% range before. But again, it could just be the sign of the times. I don't trade Bitcoin myself right now. A lot of you do. So a lot of you probably understand why recently we haven't seen the results we've seen in the past. But overall, excellent and unique at the same time, and also helps a group of people out there that have been woefully underserved on this channel. Thank you so much, Thomas. And thank you all. Subscribe, hit the bell. We do this all the time. It's All Things Finance, Trading Psychology podcast every other Monday, Indicator Profile series every other Wednesday, blog sometimes on Thursday. I don't know if I'll have one tomorrow or not, but check in and make sure you follow me on Twitter. I'll let you know if that pops up. And every Saturday, we have the 10-minute Contrarian Investing podcast. And it's all free. That's at least worth a thumbs up, isn't it? But regardless of what you do, I will keep doing what I do. And I'll see you next time. Let's go get it.